Hello everybody, it's me, Tonic TZW, and guess what? Azure Lane is back. We've got, what is it, Season 4. There's new commanders, new ships, there's some flags and some other bits and bobs in there, but it's yet another way for wargaming to empty your wallet, especially for all those weebs who need waifus. Now, considering the parental rating of this game and the supposed target audience of kids, the proliferation of scantily clad women with big boobs, albeit in a cartoon style, in this game begs questions. Questions to be asked. I have posted previously a couple of videos about being very aware of what you are spending in this game and what you're getting for that money. I'm going to say not everything is bad, but I really do find it hard to kind of agree that the value of some of the things that is being asked is actually worthwhile. But it all depends on your take on the game, how much money you've got in the bank, and how much you're willing to spend. So it is a personal preference. I will say that. There's a lot of comments go in opposite directions that I've had come up on past videos where some people have said, I've got the money, I'm happy to spend it. Great, yep. Other people have said, I've spent a load of money, got nothing, now I feel really awful. That is bad. And you've got the people who say, I'll choose to spend a little money now and then, but I limit it. And that's basically the way that I do it. Now, as I said, it's not all bad. It is content to the game. It is a little bit comical. Does it really have its place in this game? I don't know. But what I will say is we scroll through this list when I had a look at this morning. I'm thinking, what are the community asking for and what are Wargaming giving us? So we'll have a look. You have got the entire collection here, which is 45,000 doubloons. One thing to be aware of here is they say it's discounted from 75,000. It isn't discount. 45,000 is the price to pay. It has never been sold as a package at 75,000 doubloons, but perhaps if you were to add up the value of all the individual items, then they would put a doubloon value on that of 75,000, and as they're selling the package for 45,000, then it is a reduction in price of the overall individual values. But we have a new battleship, which is the Azure Lane, New Jersey. Um, I don't know every single ship in the game. When I had a look at this, had a view of it, I'm just thinking that looks like an Iowa or a Georgia or something like that. It doesn't appear to be anything special. I haven't sort of looked at all the statistics of the other ships at Tier 7 American battleships to do a direct comparison. But it's the same. We've got a CHAPAYEV, and that's one that I do have in port already. So we've got a Tier 7 premium Russian cruiser. And then we've got some skins. We've got some skins for the Tier 8 French destroyer, the Saint Louis. And then we've got a skin for the German Tier 8 cruiser, the Rhone. We have a skin for the Tier 8 British tech tree cruiser, the Neptune. And then, the commanders, I actually sort of had a look at these, and there's some of the commanders that are actually, they had a couple of interesting things on. So, am I going to spend on them? I don't know. I don't know. But what I can see happening is power creep with every kind of patch, with every expansion, with every new line of ships. We see ships that used to be the absolute meta in the game that are hardly played anymore because they are being power crept by newer ships. And it's the same with commanders. Original tech tree free to play commanders are power crept by event commanders, and it's pushing that edge forward. So yes, it's taking the game forwards, but it's pushing people that if they want to try to play with equal skills and perks as, dare I say it, wallet warriors, that they're going to have to spend money too. So it's playing on that fear of missing out, I think. But let's have a look through here. So here we've got a base trade. So main battery shells travel over 10 Ks, do extra damage. So you could get at 16.4 an extra 5% damage on your ship, or on your shells rather. So if you stack that with somebody else that's doing extra damage, I think there's one commander, you could probably put that up to 8, 9, 10% without going through the whole commanders list and working out who that could match with. But what I did look down here for on this skill is not only are you getting that extra damage as range, but if you trade off a little bit of main battery range, now if you're in a battleship, you're probably going to be shooting over 10 Ks anyway, but you can greatly reduce your dispersion. And also, if you're hitting a citadel at range, you're going to be doing up to 15% extra damage. That is pretty massive. And dropping your dispersion by 7%, given that many battleship commanders took the option to use the concealment mod, which increased the dispersion of enemy ships firing at them. This is a counter to those two things. So you've got range, you've got dispersion, and you've got extra damage to citadels. So all the battleships that sail along at the back of the map, spamming shells out at maximum range. See, this one was interesting to me. I thought that had potential. So let's have a look at now. I'm going to go to the CHAPAYEV. So she's going to be a Russian cruiser commander. So up to 10% increase module capacitation. So that's sonar, rudder, torpedo launchers, guns, propulsion. Can't knock that. You can keep knocking things down, especially if you're shooting at battleships at range. Then you're going to be knocking out those secondary guns as well. But we've also got up to 15% HE shells damage, but you're greatly reducing the chance to cause fire. Now that will only be for the Russian cruisers, so things like Ochakov and obviously CHAPAYEV and things like that, that are ranged cruisers. So you're going to be doing more damage with the shells that are hitting, but at max level, you've got a 90% reduction in the chance to set a fire. So do you run that with something like EOP instead of fully packed? Again, an interesting combination of skills on a commander. Now, I don't play a lot of Russian cruisers, but if you do play Russian cruisers, is that commander something that's of interest to you? How do you see that commander being used and tied in with other commanders to greatly increase the accuracy, damage output of your Russian cruisers? Please do, leave something down in the comments and tell me how you will build this commander. So we've got the German cruiser commander Rhone. I know everybody calls it Rune, but we'll try and pronounce it the right way. Now she's got traverse speed, rudder shift time. So we've got agile cruiser there with potentially so increasing the agility. So perhaps you don't have to use the steering gears mod, and you'll be losing a little but gaining some by running this commander. And I think that is the skill that you have. So your ship receives less damage while sonar is active, so 10% less damage while your sonar is running. So I'm guessing if you're chasing a destroyer down, or one of those battleships that actually has torpedoes, and you're trying to run in and get some torpedoes done on that, then yeah, not perhaps as effective as the previous two commanders, but again, it's a damage reduction, while your sonar's running. So is it going to be a YOLO around the corner of an island and torpedo a battleship. So again, an interesting combination. So I think there's been some thought go into these commanders. But is the thought gone around as to making them effective, or has the thought gone into making them attractive, not in the long legs, big boobs kind of way, but making them attractive to buy because of these skills that they have? I mean, I do know a place from when I was in the army in Germany. It was behind the train station in Osnabrück, and that place was full of girls with big boobs and long legs and dressed in skimpy little outfits. And you could go in there with a full wallet too and walk out and have an empty wallet, but you wouldn't actually have any of the girls either. You might have had one or two of the girls, but you certainly wouldn't have any of the girls in your pocket. So there's a little thing to think about there. So we have got a French. Is this a French destroyer, Captain? I didn't look. Yeah, San Luis. So she's going to be a French destroyer captain. So French destroyers, we talking speed, torpedoes, and if you're running the engine boost, you've got reduced concealment while your engine boost is running. So we've got reduction in cooldown for consumables, so engine boost. Yeah, 3%, not a huge amount to drop something like your engine boost cooldown by 3%. Dropping your main battery reload time by 3%. Again, if you've got, let's just say for numbers' sake, a 5-second reload on your guns, right? 10% of that 5 seconds is 0.5. Okay, so reducing it by 3% is only going to reduce that reload by what, 0.017 of a second. So it doesn't seem to be a great deal. On a 10-second reload, you're going to gain about a quarter of a second. Now, yes, it will stack with other things, with other commanders perhaps, but it doesn't seem like it's really worth it there. I don't see it being a huge reduction. And then the other skill we've got there, main battery reload boosted duration. Okay, so now this potentially makes sense. So you're getting 15% on your main battery reload. You get an extra charge of it, which is nice. That's giving you 3 rather than 2. They've already increased main battery reload boosters in this patch to 2 instead of 1. So now they're giving you French destroyers 3. And you're getting a 3% reduction. So if you're hitting your main battery reload booster and you've got this maxed out to give you another 3%, you're going to get some extra shells in, aren't you? Yeah, this is where they're coming from with that one. But again, I don't play a lot of French destroyers, so if you're a French destroyer captain, what do you think of this one? Drop it in the comments. Go on. So last but not least, now I haven't played British cruisers, a lot of British cruisers, in a very, very, very long time. So let's have a look. So extra damage per 1% hit points lost. Right. Well, let's mention Booty here, who always seems to have a penchant for getting dev struck or taking a Citadel salvo at the start of the game and losing a lot of hit points. So you're going to gain a maximum of 0.1% extra AP damage per 1% hit point loss. So you lose 10% of your hit points, you're getting 1%. So if you've lost 90% of your hit points, you're going to get 9% extra AP damage. Yeah, worth it? Don't know, but let's have a look at the skill that she's got with it. So up to 7% extra damage against cruisers, up to 7% against destroyers, but up to -7% against battleships. So pushing a British cruiser commander to focus on cruisers and destroyers and not battleships? Why would they want to do that? Why would they push this down? They don't want British cruisers, which I think on some occasions have a decent fire chance on them, not targeting battleships. Are we starting to see a trend of them dropping captains in that give us more effective ships against ships of the same or lower class, and giving the battleships the opportunity to run around without getting slammed to pieces by cruisers? Interesting, interesting. But I don't think the Neptune is as potentially as good as some of the others. I do think that the New Jersey certainly has some interesting features there. That's the one that piqued my interest. I've got Air Flag from one of the previous Azure Lane crates that came along some time ago, and there's 4 extra crates there for you. But yeah, 45,000 doubloons. Ask yourself, is it worth it? Look at what you've got, look at how you play, and then make a decision on what you're going to spend. Now, as far as the crates go, sorry, I've just knocked my orange juice over. As far as the crates go, there is a guaranteed drop system in place for the ships, and it is 30 crates. So if you do not receive a ship within the first 29 crates, you will guarantee a ship on crate number 30. So if you don't get a ship and you end up having to go through crates, you know, to the point where you've opened 29 and not got a ship, you're going to be dropping some serious coin. So you could buy them individually at 1,000 doubloons each and get yourself all the way up to potentially 30,000 doubloons on crates, which I think is £73.99 in English money, or British money, should I say. Or you could go the whole hog and save a little bit. Again, there is a reduction here. The reduction is based on the price of a single crate. So you're getting 20 crates for the price of what you would pay for 17 individuals. So you're looking at 2 packs of 5, stack of 20 to guarantee yourself at least one ship. That's 27,000 doubloons. So again, you know, you may as well be buying the £73.99 pack if you're going to do that. Drop rates for things in here, you've got a 10% chance of dropping a commander. You've got an 8% chance of dropping the skins here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 3 skins. So 8% chance of dropping one of those skins. And you have a 5% chance of dropping a ship. Now, as far as the commander goes, and this is where the crate system is getting, the waters are getting a little bit muddied. I know that on previous events, I don't think it was just Azure Lane, but if you dropped a commander from a crate, it would remove that commander from the drop list. It would remove it from the rewards pool. Now, it will only remove it from the rewards pool until you have all 5 commanders. So you could potentially drop all 5 commanders, but then you're not guaranteed to get a ship until crate 30 still. But you will then get duplicate commanders to give you commendations afterwards. Now, this is something I mentioned in a previous video again, saying that if you've bought a commander in an event, then that commander should be added to the pool for the free commander crate that you get each week, because otherwise you've got to have 900,000 commander XP and a 16.4 commander to get universal commendations to use to buy any commander to promote these. Sorry, just had to clear my throat there and mute the mic. So yeah, the muddy in the waters a little bit with the way that the crates are working. Um, Ideally, what I like to see, I'd like to see it go back to when once you had all the commanders, they were removed from the pool, and then you had more chance of getting something else. Now you're just potentially going to keep getting repeat commanders. And again, something that we talked about just there, um, asking Wargaming to give us more promotion materials to be able to promote our captains quicker. Not necessarily at lightning speed, but just not at a glacial pace. So they've looked at what the community are asking for. They've given the community exactly what they want if you've got the money for it. This jumped out at me. I know we have recently seen a Commander's pack that will boost it all the way up to 16. But what it will not do is give you any legendary levels. So buy a commander for 20,000 doubloons. Yeah, that is a scary price. And again, the display of large breasts in these cartoonish images, I'm afraid, frankly, yeah, I know it's just a game. I know it's just a cartoon. But don't they have an Esri rating of 12? I mean, come on, she's practically hanging out of those. You know, literally her cold nipples are keeping that material clung to her breasts by hooking into it and not letting it slip. But yeah, Wargaming, they've given us the opportunity to drop 20,000 doubloons on a level 16 commander. You have a look at that. You get one personal commendation, so you get 16 legendary 1. It's pricey. That is very, very pricey for one commander. But again, if you've got the money, if you want to do it, you go ahead and do that. So there is my take on the Weeboo, Waifu, Wallet Warrior, whatever you're going to call it, Widowers Association. I've tried to give a slightly more balanced perspective in this one by looking at what I actually think is good and not actually just how much money they're expecting you to throw down on this thing. But the trend in the event promotions and marketing, as many people have said, is going the way of many other wargaming titles. I will continue to play this game. I will continue to be very considerate in what spending I do on this game. I know for one thing, I certainly don't have and won't be dropping 45,000 doubloons on a pack. I may buy a small handful of crates, but I'm not going to invest heavily into it. If you've gone out, if you've bought any of this content, if you're playing it in game, come and past here, drop it in the comments. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, how much, be honest. Tell me what you spent and what you got, because we know that some people do get very, very lucky. They spend very little and get a lot for their investment. There are other people who drop a lot of money in this game and get absolutely nothing, and that disappoints me. I know there's a guarantee system in place, but that guarantee system requires a very large investment to trigger it. We need to dial it back a little bit, please, Wargaming. 30 crates, excessive. 20 crates, reasonable. 15, we may consider that suitable. I don't know who they're taking the market research from, but I'd certainly like to work for them because they're obviously making a lot of money for telling these guys what they need to know about how best to, dare I say it, exploit their player base to make the most money out of it. Enjoy your Azure Lane 4 content, guys. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now and a Kit Kat. Until next time, take care and goodbye.